Hello, I'm back with another YouTube video. I've of course made a setup slightly different today because of course I want to get the James Bond poster and James Bond things I've got here up. Boxes are down there, but can't get everything in, can you? Anyway, yes, as the title suggests, it is another ranking James Bond themed video, or James Bond themed video. It is ranking every James Bond actor. Again, it's surprising I haven't done this earlier. I mean, that's probably one of the first things you would rank besides the films, which I made back in April, the 3, to check out the video and all the other James Bond themed videos on my James Bond playlist, which I'll show you just there. It's a new YouTube channel page, but anyway, it looks cool, it looks editing, makes it look good, you know what I mean. Anyway, yes, ranking of James Bond actor, let's go. In number 6, we have, George Lazenby. A lot of people will probably agree with this. I mean, nothing against him particularly, it's just his James Bond, only one film. I'm sorry, you can't really materialise, you can't really mould into any James Bond. He's simply just the James Bond that did one film. That's all he's really ever remembered for. Again, like I said, and also maybe he was too sometimes not. I mean, let's not forget, he spent half the film pretending to be a sort of posh Englishman, not being himself, which I don't think really worked anyway. So yeah, like I said, George Lazenby, not to say we only did one Bond film, he's not his favourite, but he didn't do enough. In number 5 we have Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is next up on my list, simply because I feel like he was sometimes too hardcore, but also thrown in too many sort of jokes as well, which doesn't really work, that sort of big juxtaposition. I don't know, I'm roasting him a lot. He is a really, really good James Bond. That was a very negative start. Yes, he's a really, really good James Bond. However, he is too, I think that the thing that's stopping him moving up further this is in fact, I think in a day he is too of a modern Bond. I mean, I understand James Bond has, of course, got to move over with the times. You can't stick with the 60s and 70s, of course. It's now 2023, for crying out loud. But sometimes a bit too modern. And yeah, and of course he's pretty much always just in a suit, which of course you'll see my next list's rankings up. Is also stopping him from, of course, getting into a full character. But again, definitely better than Lazenby. Of course, he did more James Bond films. Casino Royale was absolutely brilliant. That opening of him around Madagascar, it was fantastic. Which definitely materialises Bond straight away, better than George Lazenby did. In at number 4 we have Pierce Brosnan. I really want to rank Pierce Brosnan higher. I mean, when you think of James Bond, he is what you think, he is very much the embodiment of James Bond. He is the most accurate to Ian Fleming's books as James Bond is. However, I just have to be honest with myself, there are simply more James Bond actors that have been there that I prefer. Also did 4 James Bond films, so if he did properly snap a 5th or 6th, then that possibly would have changed my opinion a bit more. I mean, like I said, great James Bond. There's just other James Bonds I would rather watch. In number 3, slightly controversial, I'm actually putting Timothy Dalton up. Timothy Dalton, like I said, in that top half of the bracket. Honestly, I'm going to say, I really, really liked Dalton as a Bond. He was absolutely fantastic. The fact that he only did 2 films does not matter. He more than made up for it in his style, character, and simply just determination. I mean, Living Daylights 97, 1999, License to Kill, he was fantastic. I just really, really liked him because he was so serious and simply just got the job done. He didn't even throw any of those subtle jokes in really as other James Bond did, hence why he's slightly superior in my opinion, Daniel Craig, because he's just trying to be one person and be himself only as the hardcore James Bond. In at number 2 we have Roger Moore. Roger Moore is kind of the flip side of that, because he is so funny and jokes alike, of course what today's time is slightly dirty jokes, but it still works. And of course, he did 7 James Bond films as well, which really helped. He did a lot to materialise his character, which is why I'm putting him number 2, because, like I said, I mean, opposite to Dalton, Moore was simply very, very good with his jokes, his style. He definitely picked up strong after, of course, Connery got, the great fame as he did. He really took on the role well right from the start. Live and Let Die, he was right there, right away, right in the action. I mean, arguably James Bond's biggest action scenes, like in Man with the Golden Gun, in 1974, like when we saw, of course, with that like car scene, that was very good. As well as in like For Your Eyes Only 1981 with, of course, the car chase. It was all big things, and it all was to his name. However, in my opinion, I've said it before, I think, and I will say it again, and have I mentioned this before? It doesn't matter, you've already guessed, because all the other James Bond have already been mentioned. In number 1 of my favourite James Bond of all time is Sean Connery, the man himself. I mean, in the day, this is James Bond. To a lot of older James Bond fans, they will probably agree with me, this is James Bond. He's the original, You can't beat the original. He is simply the nice, rich tea biscuit of a James Bond. He's the original, you can't go wrong with it, he's amazing. Subtle jokes, again, he isn't always just stealing the suit, like in a Dr. No's scene there, fighting his way out through Jamaica with Honey Rider, and he's just doing a lot of good stuff, and he's just absolutely fantastic. The scene as well, the opening of Goldfinger in 1964 was also just fantastic. He told us like a lot of jokes, he also had a very serious tone to him as well. And yeah, he was just absolutely amazing, which is why he's my most favourite James Bond is Sean Connery. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss on any other James Bond themed videos or any other video outside your history videos as well, you name it. But James Bond videos in particular, if you want, subscribe to the channel and you can see some more of them coming up in the future. Yes, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Goodbye.